Welcome to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nick. I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. Today I'm in my closet. It is what it is. I'm talking about the WNBA game for today, October 8th. I was watching, before the game started, I was watching the WNBA countdown with LaChina Robinson, Chinea Williams, and Carolyn Peck. Love that pregame coverage. It's amazing. Also had Angel Gray doing some pregame interviews, which was really great as well. But the game today was the final game, game 5 of the semifinals for the Connecticut Sun in the Minnesota Lynx elimination game for both, because the series was tied 2-2. This game was on ESPN2, and really great game, actually. Pretty interesting. It was called by Pam Ward, Monica McNutt, and Angel Gray. In the first quarter, it was a really strong start for both teams, but the Lynx start to pull away later in the quarter, hitting a bunch of threes. The crowd really hates Marina Mabrey. They were booing her when she came on the court, and they were cheering when she got a foul, which was kind of ridiculous. But the Lynx were playing incredibly good defense, and they were able to turn over the Sun 4 times in that first quarter. The quarter ended 18-31. In the second quarter, Marina Mabrey actually in the first quarter had tripped over a cameraman and rolled her ankle under the basket. She does stay in the game, but in the second quarter she does go to the locker room for a little bit, but she comes back into the game. The Lynx continue to dominate in this quarter, causing another 6 turnovers, so a total of 10 turnovers in one quarter. Awful. The halftime score was 34-53. It wasn't looking good. Going to the halftime report, LaChina Robinson, Chinea Williams, and Carolyn Peck again. Great analysis, like I said. I'd love to see them on the call. They actually give great context. The combination of them with Andrea or Elle Duncan is really great, but this time it was just LaChina, Chinea, and Carolyn Peck. Going to the third quarter, the Sun are playing a lot better defense, and they go on a 9-0 run. They get the score down to 12-point deficit, but there was a lot of questionable calls from the refs against the Sun specifically, and the Sun were struggling to score in that quarter. Alyssa Thomas ends up picking her 4th foul up from an offensive charge on the basket, under the basket. Very questionable. There's just a lot of questionable calls. And I also noticed that Marina Mabrey was not on the floor at all in the third quarter, so maybe she went back to the locker room for treatment. That's a big killer for them because she is their 3-point threat. So at the end of the third quarter, it was 48-65. Things to note about this game: Lindsay Whalen was in the house, one of the best point guards ever of all time, who played on the Lynx, and she has 3 or 4 championships with them. So fantastic player. She was in the building. Anyway, going to the fourth quarter. Nafisa Collier was playing really, really well in the third and the fourth quarter, and it was really hard to stop her. And again, the reffing here was just really questionable. The curly-haired ref, who's actually been in the WNBA for a long time, she was just making a lot of questionable calls, a lot of ticky-tack fouls, things that didn't look like they were fouls. She was calling them against the Sun. Unfortunately, Sun were trying their best, but the Lynx were just keeping a really big, sizable lead with 3 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game. DeWanna Bonner does hit 2 3-pointers to cut the lead to 13 points. Dejanay Carrington and Veronica Burton, they're trying to keep them in the game, but it's just not enough time. With 54 seconds left in the game, both teams bench their starters and they just play out the clock. It's 77-88. No one scores. That's the end of the game. And unfortunately, it's so gross. The Lynx did their electric slide, which I hate, but luckily they did cut the feed before they actually showed us them doing the electric slide, so they saved us from that corny ass dance that they do. Anyway, the box score for this game: the Connecticut Sun, DeWanna Bonner had 14 points, 8 rebounds. Alyssa Thomas only had 7 points, 6 assists. Kind of a quiet night for her. Brianna Jones had 16 points, 10 rebounds for a double-double. She did have 3 blocks. Dejanay Carrington had 17 points, 12 rebounds. She had 3 steals and 1 block, but she also had quite a bit of turnovers. Ty Harris had 12 points, 1 steal, or no, 1 block. No, 1 steal. 1 steal. Marina Mabrey only had 8 points, so she was only in the game for not even 14 minutes because of the injury, so that really took them out of the game. If she was in the game, this might have been a different ending, to be honest. With the Minnesota Lynx, you had they really took Bridget Carlson out of the game. She did not score very well in this game, but Nafisa Collier had an amazing game: 27 points, 11 rebounds for a double-double. She had 1 steal and 4 blocks. Kayla McBuckets had 19 points, 1 steal. Courtney Williams had 24 points, 7 assists. 2 steals, 1 block. She was going off. Her dad was in the house, so she usually does go off. And then Natisha Heidemann had 7. Alana Smith had 7 as well. So just a little bit more even contribution from everybody. Again, the Connecticut Sun are the bridesmaids, never the bride. They are not going to the finals, unfortunately. And there are questions about Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner coming back next year because they are restricted free agents. We will see. Time will tell. Unfortunately, the Lynx are going to the finals against the New York Liberty, which will be such a boring matchup. Let's just be real. I've watched a lot of the games during the regular season, and it just wasn't that interesting. The Lynx did dominate in the regular season. It was 2-1. Most of the games were like a 10-point difference, but the Liberty did lose an extra game that's not a part of the regular season, the Commissioner's Cup. They did lose that game. So what's kind of messed up about the situation is the Liberty will have 3 days off. They last played on Sunday, and the Lynx are only going to have 1 day off because they play on Thursday as the first day of the first finals game. So that's kind of fucked up. But I didn't make the schedule. And last but not least, we did go into Sports Center right after the game. They interviewed Courtney Williams, and she is such a vibe. Love her energy, love her Southern sensibility. She was just so fun, like cracking them up. Carolyn Peck and Shanae Womake were on the show, and they were all vibing with the black male host. I don't know his name, but there was like one white woman host. And she had to kill the vibe, of course, because she doesn't have any swag. She couldn't really hang with the conversation. So she had to like cut the conversation short and like move on to something else, like totally kill the vibe. It was just crazy. So can't relate to that. If you can't relate, just be quiet. Just be quiet. That's all you got to do. But anyway, great game. Well, it wasn't a great game. It was a really disappointing game, but it is what it is. I will be back on Thursday with the first finals game, even though I'm probably not going to be very excited to call it. It is what it is. It's the Liberty versus the Lynx. Oh well. All right, see you on the next one.